Wax is here.
I do it for the hood, man, I do it for the block. I do it for my real ones, I do it for my folk in them. He get out of line on God and we smoking them niggas gon' hate. Watch me demonstrate.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Trent B. Face Small, back again with the Built Different. I'd like to welcome my guest, Nickademus.
Yeah. What's up?
What's up, bro? How you been?
All right, man. How you been?
Man, you know, same old, working all the time, just trying to keep my head above water. I appreciate you coming in.
Hey, no problem. I appreciate you for having me.
Man, it's awesome. I feel like, you know, a lot of people's done the interviews and stuff, but I ain't really seen you in many, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You know, I've been wanting to do one. I've been seeing everybody do their thing on the interviews. It's like, yeah, I'm ready for one, man.
Right. Hell yeah. I was like, man, I'm starting this out, starting from ground up, so I was like, man, I gotta go with one of my favorites out the city, my top dogs, you know what I mean? It's Nickademus, right on that list.
I appreciate that.
But I did write some questions. I prepared some questions and stuff I could ask. So, because last one I tried to do it was so awkward. I didn't have anything prepared, and I was like, man, I can't do it like this. I gotta at least have something prepared. And then it's like, you know, we can just bullshit off the topic or whatever, you know what I mean? So, but I mean, really to start it off, when did you start making music? You know what I mean?
It was about the late '90s, you know, early 2000s. You know, me and my boy Q. The Hoosier, you know, he's in the Sit Game Records thing with me, you know, but before that, it was around that time, we just had the keyboards and, you know, the blank tapes. We was in that era. We was using blank tapes and tape players.
The golden era.
Yeah, the golden era, man. We walked to the store and get the blank tapes, get the 3-pack of tapes for $1 and everything. You know what I'm saying? And we had the tape recorders and we would snatch the little deck piece off so we could see the tape rolling. Just that golden age. So it was like the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, I was about the teenage years.
Hell yeah.
You know, yeah.
I mean, what motivated you, like, as far as, like, the music goes? Like, what you was listening to, you know what I mean? Like,
man, like, my older brother was, like, tapped into, like, I guess the legends you could say that's in the game now that was really like current then, you know what I mean? The NWA era, the Bad Boy era, the Death Row era, and even more like Rap-A-Lot, Scarface, Ghetto Boys type thing. So like he would always play that in the house. And then like my era started kicking in, you know what I mean? That No Limit and all that, you know what I mean? And those type of eras started kicking in. So just hearing the music all the time motivated me because like it was hearing like lyrics and words and rhymes over a beat, you know what I mean? Like I was really intrigued and fascinated by that. And that's what made me want to jump in. And plus going through life experiences and going through things in life and just intertwining everything.
Yeah, man, that's one of the things that I pick up from your music that I love is it's like you got your own sound aside from everybody else, you know what I'm saying, just the way you spit, but you still hear them tones of like, you know what I'm saying, them early 2000s in it, but it's like, you just do it in this type of way. It's like, oh man, you know what I mean? That you can feel where it comes from. So it's like that's why I got asked. Now I appreciate it. But that was when you started. I mean, what motivates you now? You know what I mean?
Still the hunger, like still hungry, still the drive. People like you really, you know, that gives, you know, the props and the praise and you know the motivation to keep me going. Because there's days or moments or times where I'm like, man, do I even still want to do this? You know, that other side gets to talking to you like, hey, you know, that doubt and that, you know, and it's like, no, I can't do that. And then when I get to hear motivation and words like yours, then it lifts me up to keep going, and people's like, hey, keep doing this, I heard this song got me through the day type thing, and it's just like, wow. Right. You know, it's a very humble feeling, like I'm always humble. You know, that's the main thing, I'm always humble and just
100%. I feel that. I'm like the same way with my stuff, you know, it's like there's some days to where I'm just like, man, I've recorded some songs and then I just sit on them because I'm like, man, you know, I'm iffy on it, you know what I mean? I don't know how I feel about it within myself, but I show other people and they always dig it, so it's like,
for sure.
Man, it's gotta mean something, but I'm just not seeing it in myself at the moment.
I swear. So. And it's like sometimes it takes other people to see it even when you don't see it, you know what I mean? And that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Alright, let's see, I got one question I kind of already asked that with one of the last ones, but alright, this is a good one. What led up to Back at It? I I know that's an older song, but man, that's one of my all-time favorites that I've heard. Man, that one is just, you can tell there was like a fire there. Yeah. So it's like, and there was a gap in time to where, you know, I deleted all my social media. I was a ghost pretty much. So I didn't know, you know, I didn't know anything, you know, I hadn't kept up with anybody on social media, so it's like, what led up to doing that track and then like the video for it? Because bro, that video was cold-blooded too.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Shout out Cameron Jones, you know what I'm saying? Shout the video. Shout out that boy Max that produced the song. You know, back at it, like, speaking of gaps in time, I actually had a gap in time in the music, you know, where it was like a couple years from when I like was actually releasing music. Like, I'm always in the studio recording, but like, releasing music, it was like about a couple years of a gap, like two and a half year gap. And at that time, you know, going through some internal things, you know, touching on depression, you know what I mean, mental things, you know. And back at it was kind of like that stamp to like conquer all those little demons and all of that, you know what I mean? Basically saying I'm back at it, you know what I mean? There's certain lyrics in the song, you know what I mean? The devil tried to take me under, but, you know, but I'm on a mission, you know what I'm saying? I believe it was something like that, but just kind of deep lyrics, because that's what I was going on, or that's what was going on with me at the time.
Right.
You know, leading up to that song with some depression and you know, relationships in and out, just some real life stuff, man. Right. And that's what led to that song, was just to stamp, just to conquer all of that. Like, I'm back at it. I'm back at it on the music. I'm back at it mentally, everything.
Right. Yeah. Now I picked that up from it, man. It's like, you know, there was some things that might have happened, that little gap, and it was just that fire to say, you know what I mean? I'm here, motherfuckers. No matter what, this time it's like, I'm here. You ain't stamping me out. I'm right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically that's how the video was too. The video was just a representation of the city.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just showing, you know, where I'm from and, you know, being proud of it, man. I'm proud of it. You know, I had the Ford Center in the back and, you know, the downtown shots. You know, just being proud of where I'm coming from.
The Main Street shots were dope.
I appreciate it.
Really had that little
the River City.
Just
showing where I'm from, man. Cause you know how they do it down here in Indiana, man.
You know how it goes. We gotta pay some respects to where we come from. I mean, it's home, even though some days I don't like it myself. But
you and me both, bro.
But you know.
Yeah.
And then another one was Demonstrate, and then your last project that you dropped with Quarantine.
Quarantine type.
You know what I mean? What's up with all of that? What kind of led to all of that? I mean, I the name kind of gives it off, but it's like, you know, your personal feelings of the projects, and then like that song in particular, when you dropped the video for it, I got the notification on my phone, and I was like, oh shit, it had kind of been a while since I had seen anything, so I was like, oh man, like, and that's one I still look up when I'm driving. I got it in my little driving playlist, you know what I mean? So
I appreciate that for real, man. It's just one of those like heavy hitters, you know. The Quarantine tape, like you said, for obvious reasons, it's called that, you know, with everything that's going on right now, you know. Just kind of dropped it on the fly. That's like how you got the notification, like boom, because it really wasn't any warning. Because usually when I drop projects, it's kind of like a little rollout.
Right.
That, you know, but this time I was just like, boom, I'm going to just make some songs and boom. Like, how the COVID hit, that's how the tape's going to hit. You know what I mean? It just hit folks. And like Demonstrate was just one of those, like, you know, kind of like bouncier cuts. Like when I heard that beat, you know, I was like, man, I can do something to that. And it was just, the hook was coming to me, you know, blunt shut a lot. I mean, you know, it was just coming to my head and it was just catchy, and wanted to do something kind of sort of aggressive. And it was like the summertime, the summer vibe in the video with the car, the drop tops and everything, just the whole little vibe.
Yeah, bro, them shots in that car fucking dope as fuck. I was like, oh man, I gotta do something in the car now. Like that fucking idea was golden. It was executed perfectly. I like it. I like to see that one come out as kind of like the single off of it, the video, you know what I mean? So it's like I could tell with you personally, there was probably some good energy behind that song and the way you felt about it. So it's like, that's one I had to ask. No, let's see here. What were your goals for music, and like when you started versus when you started now? Or versus when you started versus now, you know what I mean? Did anything change from your goal path, or has it been the same thing, just kind of more intensified over the way as you've gone on in it?
It's really like, it has intensified, and that's crazy because it's really supposed to be like the older you get, you know, you're kind of supposed to fade off, or so to say, but really the older I get, it intensifies, you know, and like starting out being younger, the goals were kind of different because like that's all I would see. I'd be like, hey, I want to get signed to a label. Like this is like teenage thinking, you know what I mean? Oh man, I want to get signed to a label. I'm gonna get this, get that, materialistic type thing. But then as you get older and start to appreciate the actual art form, then it's like you want to move more with an independent mind state.
Right.
You know what I mean? And try to do this thing your way. Not anyone telling you what to do or these people telling you what to do, thinking like that's the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It's just more of an independent mind state, wanting to get to that goal, and you'll feel more appreciative when you do it like independently by yourself.
You earned it. You know, you
worked
worked hard for it.
Yeah, so that's what's really changed, but the actual goal has been the same. You know, just to to be successful, but not like materialistically. Like, you know, personally and mentally, you know what I mean? That kind of success.
Exactly.
And people appreciating what you did and what you've done and the kind of music and the legacy that you'll leave.
Right, because it lasts forever, man. There's going to be people after us. You think about it, bro, you to me, and like even from other people I talk to, you're a vet in the city, bro. So it's like whenever people are looking back 50 years from now, you know, what people were doing in Evansville, they're going to be like, oh, you know, that was Nickademus. That motherfucker was ripping up beats. You know what I mean? Back at this time, like, it's everybody had respect for it because they know your work. So it's like, you know, it's the shit.
Yeah.
But then going back to like the quarantine tape and stuff like that, has COVID affected any of your plans for music or like things you might have had planned and lined up but you couldn't exactly do because of COVID, or did it just kind of give you that urge, like, you know, you dropped the tape and everything, so did it kind of motivate you more? Did it deter you from being able to do anything you wanted to do?
It motivated me more really to drop this tape because honestly, if it wasn't for COVID, I probably wouldn't have dropped the tape, you know, because it gave me the idea to do it, and you know, there is like a lot of quarantine tapes out here, you know, so it's just like, why not do that, you know, because that's what's going on right now, you know, is the COVID and the quarantine and all that, everybody masked up, whoop-de-whoop, so it's just like, I'm gonna jump on that, you know, too, you know, just give them some songs, and that was the motivation for me to do music, and just really like just stay in the studio, you know, or just try to as much as I can, you know, because that's really what it's turned into. Like, if I'm not at home, you know, that's where I'm at, or, you know, in the gym, and, you know, that's what mental things too, like, you know, and that's what I was doing too, in part of the time gap, not to go back, but also part of the time gap was fitness for me, you know what I'm saying? That kind of helped my mental thing too, but what COVID deterred me from was like shows. I like to perform. You know, and I feel like COVID has kind of put a damper on that for everybody. For everybody that likes to perform, you know, I feel like COVID has put a real damper on that.
Oh yeah, man.
I feel like that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, I had a few shows planned out, just kind of going around, finally getting to do it, but then the COVID happened. They just kind of got stamped out. I was able to do one. I did one on Halloween, but it was, you know, it was a local show, so like I was wanting to go bigger than that. But it was nice just getting to perform. But yeah, that's another one I was going to ask you. When was your last show?
What was it? About a couple years ago. Somewhere around 19. Not too long before the COVID hit.
Okay.
Not too long before the COVID hit. So it's, you know, been almost a clean 2 years, year and a half, you know, since a performance, and COVID has a lot to do with that. You know, but hopefully, you know, with everything, you know, hopefully coming to a head, that they can get the shows back going somehow, some way.
Man, there's got to be a way to do an outside event.
That's what I'm saying, like even,
something like that.
Yeah, like even out of town, some type of outside venue. Like I'm just ready to like branch out. I mean, of course here too. But
like, man, that's pretty sure that's the first place we met was at, you know, my first show that I did, and you was there, you fucking tore it up, and I was like, oh man, this motherfucker's hardcore, like, this dog I need to listen to right here, you know what I mean?
I appreciate that, man, I appreciate that, man.
I was like, hell yeah.
Likewise, bro. Likewise.
Hell yeah, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, man. I really looked up to you a lot, especially with, you know, getting into the local shit, because I've kind of kept my distance from mostly everybody, so it's like, you know, you're the one person I've heard that I'm like, man, this is who I'm kind of working towards, like, with my same direction is being myself in different from everybody else with what they're doing right now. You know what I mean? And it's like I can take it and I can put it in my own way. I might even be able to use one of the same type of beats, but it's like I'm not doing it in that same way. I'm doing it.
Your spin on it.
I'm doing it my way. You know what I mean? So it's like it gives it that own uniqueness. So it's like it's the shit. But what type of shit you like to do for just for fun? You know what I mean? Aside from the music, just trying to enjoy yourself.
Like I said,
it is like Nickademus.
Like I said, man, like hit the gym. Do that. I was going out to like the bars when you actually could go. You know what I'm saying? Doing that. Kicking it with some friends. Kicking it with some females. That type of entertainment. I used to like to go to strip clubs a lot, man. But I really that was like guilty pleasure at one time. It was like, man, I had to die that down. But just normal type of things, you know what I'm saying? Right. Not too crazy.
Right. All in good fun.
Yeah.
I know you got somebody else on your team, but this was just one of my questions I have. Is it just you? For people that might not know, is it just you, or is there more to your team than the Sick Game team than maybe just you operating? Trying to do like your marketing yourself and things like that, or your branding. Whatever it may be. Is it just you, or is there more than just you putting into it as well?
Like I said, it's me, it's Q, and Q's in Nashville. He's from here, but he moved to Nashville 08, 09, somewhere around then. He moved there, and we work with artists there. You know what I'm saying? Like we have artists there, like there's an artist Young Wood, there's another artist named Millie. KD. You know what I mean? These are like people that have dropped projects under the Sick Game name, and we're just trying to keep it building. And it's good with Q out there in Nashville because that's how he met them, and he can network. And then when I go to Nashville or whatever, he's there, and so we just try to link up with like other artists out there.
It gives you that extra branch on that olive tree, you know what I mean? So it's like you're out there more rather than just being confined to this one. Right now it's pretty much just myself, and I got my wife. She does graphics and stuff for me because she kills it with the artwork. And then it's like, so I'm pretty much doing my engineering, my mixing, and my videos. But I got my brother. He helps me out every now and then. So it's like it's a lot to try to do by yourself.
It is, and so it's always good to have people around you that's good at what they do. Especially if it's other things, you know what I mean? Like that's good how you have, family working with you and doing what they do. And that's how I try to do, we got the face mask, you know what I mean? We're gonna have actual physical merch coming too. Right now just the merch and stuff is online. But Q got all that together, and then like I had my buddy Moody, he put the face mask together. It's always just good to have people around you that's good at what they do. It helps you.
Everybody's working.
And that believes in you.
Yeah.
That believes in you.
Exactly. And everybody's just kind of working towards the same goal, you know what I mean? So every piece of the puzzle is essential, you know what I mean, to make it all happen.
Yeah. Like when if you get bigger, you might need a blunt roller. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Like everything is essential. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
Yeah. Let's see here. One of my next questions. Have you ever had like a random person, you know what I mean, off the street come up and approach you? Be like, oh man, you do that video, you Nickademus, you know what I mean? I heard one of your songs.
Yeah, I've had those moments. They're like occasional moments. It ain't like where it's all the time, like But I've had those occasional moments where somebody will be like, oh, I seen a video of yours, or they'll be like, oh, you look familiar. What's your name? And I'll be like, oh, Nickademus. They'll be like, oh, I've heard of you, or a female or anybody will be like, hey, well, my friend, or my friend that's in your video, So it's something like that. It's occasional.
Does that ever make you feel like awkward, or does it make you feel just like proud of yourself? Like, hey,
it's
actually the work that I've done is actually, it's paying off. It ain't like I'm just, you know what I mean? When you're down on yourself and then say something like that happens, it kind of gives you that that reassurance in your head that, hey, what I've been doing has done something, even though it's like I might not necessarily see it right now, but it has.
Especially when it's random people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, somebody that might know you that knows somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something like that. Like, it is kind of awkward, but it's gratifying at the same time because it is like, okay, I'm putting the work in and somebody's seeing this. And, you know, somebody actually likes it, you know?
Yeah.
It is like a good feeling, you know?
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, one of my next questions. I decided to get interesting with a few of them. Just kind of make them like sort of hypothetical questions, you know what I mean? But what would you do if, say, like today, you know what I mean, you got approached by like a record label, and when they was like, oh, you know, here's everything, but you sign this, and you know what I mean, like your work is ours, you know what I mean? So what would you do in like a situation like that? Because there's some people out there, some artists that they're like, hey, fuck it, I would do it, but I personally wouldn't do it. That's just me though. But what would you do in like a situation like that?
I wouldn't do it either. Honestly, I wouldn't do it. It's not worth, you know, giving your creative control up, your masters up, all of that, your dignity, your soul, so to say. That's you know, it's
everything you work for to build up to that. You know what I mean? You just kind of handing away to somebody else, and then you being a puppet on the show. You know what I mean?
It's like now they own it, and it's just like, no.
Yeah, it's like
I can't have it. Like everything I worked hard for, no.
Yeah, no, thank you.
and that goes back to that wanting that, you know, mainstream thinking, you know, at a teen mind to an independence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. It's
when you start learning, you know what I'm saying, things, and I'm always learning. Like I got so much more to learn. Like on like the business end, it never stops. Like the business end, the marketing end, I know I got things I need to learn on that aspect, and I'm always trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? It's always room to learn.
Right. But yeah, for sure, there's always more to learn. It's like even when you think you got some shit figured out, you know what I mean? There's something else that happens, and you're like, well, damn, gotta check that one off. Fucking learned on that one. You know? Hell yeah. One of my next questions is, if you had to start from scratch, would you do differently? If you could start from scratch, would you do anything differently, or would you not change anything? Would you just, you know, because every part of everybody's story is what makes you who you are. You know what I mean? The way you started things that might have happened, or you know, that fuels into that. But if you could go back and change anything that maybe might redirect the outcome of your progress to be further than whatever, you know. So you could be making the millions if maybe you did some things different that you know now, had you did that when you started, it might have led you a different direction. Is there anything like that you...
Man, honestly, that's a good question too. Honestly, man, like, I don't think I would do anything different. Because if I did anything different, it would have been out of the norm, like sign some crazy deal like you was just talking about.
Exactly.
You know, and that's not what I'm not gonna do that. You know, I wouldn't do anything different. Would just grind more and just push more. You know what I'm saying? Right. That might be the only thing. I mean, I feel like I've grinded and pushed enough, but I know I need to more.
Right.
But I would rather do it myself than to be spoon-fed. Like, I've had people ask me just like you did, like, hey, what if this such label hit you up, this and this label hit you up? It's like, man, I can't do it, man. Yeah. You know, I just can't give away mine.
Yeah, I kind of had my previous experience with that. I think we both might kind of know some connective tissue with that there. So I'm like, nah. I just, you know what I mean? I don't take care of it myself. But then again, it's like for me in the same boat going back, I wouldn't change anything that might have happened because
it was all a journey.
Yeah.
Like everything was a journey. So it's like, that's why I wouldn't want to change nothing, because it might affect, you know, the future or what happens later on, you know, the choices that you make back then or you make as you're going through your journey, it might be different. Like, if we'd have made different choices, we might not be sitting here.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we made different choices in life, but it led us to right here. So
it's dope, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know for me, it's like, you know, I've been through quite a lot of shit, especially within the last few years. So it's like, when I sit there and I look back, I'm like, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way, because not only it's made me who I am into like a completely different person than I ever even thought I would be, you know, back 5 years ago whenever we met or whatever, but it's like now it's like I'm night and day different than I was then. My content's different then. Like I've learned so much, so everything that happened, all it was just fuel to push me to learn more to get to this point. So it's like, you know, I know how to make my own videos if I need to. I can go out and shoot it myself with nobody holding the camera. I can engineer, I can mix, you know, it's like I got it all covered, just me. So it pushed me to push myself to learn those things. You know what I mean? So it's like I wouldn't change nothing. But who's your favorite artist at the moment? Who you bumping, you know, regularly?
Man, that's another good question because I listen to a whole lot, man.
Right, and then that leads me to kind of one of my next questions that's kind of like similar to that. Is I know myself sometimes, especially when I record something new, I can't help it. Do you bump like yourself in your own catalog more than you bump other artists, or is it, you know, you kind of, like me, you'll record that song, you'll bump it for a while, and then once you get to like a point with it, you're like, okay, I'm waiting to put it out, so I'm gonna back off of it for a minute, and then maybe you just listening to other stuff and don't really do it, but sometimes I obsess and I listen to my whole catalog just all the damn time. To the point it annoys me, so that way it's like I pick apart everything I do and I learn from it. So you know what I mean? Is it like that with you? Or?
I do that. Like I listen to my catalog sometimes more than others, but you know then I'm always listening to other stuff too. And then sometimes I listen to like my older music and newer music for like the comparisons.
Yeah.
You know, seeing how you sounded back then compared to how you sound now, the growth, like you said, the lyrics and that's from life experiences that you go through, you know, that intensifies what you have always been doing. You know, so sometimes I just listen to music for the growth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
The old tracks, the new tracks, you know.
Yeah, that's the big part of the way I am with mine, especially like my little YouTube channel I've had, you know, because it goes back to me recording on a cell phone, and now it's like I'm doing my own videos and shit, and it's like,
it's growth.
You see it from that start. Not only that, but I was in such a dark place, like say when I started, you know, it was madly depressing and just like, damn, man. And then now it's like, I beat all this shit, so if I can fucking go through all this, you can too, you know what I mean? So if you're in a dark place, then pull yourself up.
Yeah, and that's what we have our platforms for, you know what I'm saying? For the people that's going through this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're able to speak out on it.
And I know we all got our own process, you know, whether it be whenever you're writing, when you're recording and like shooting a video. What's your process like, you know what I mean? When you go hit the studio, you need to kind of vibe out for a bit first. Do you write when you go in the studio, you know what I'm saying? Do you find your beats and put them on replay and just, you know, over and over again, just write? Like, what's your process like?
I usually write more out of the studio than in. But like sometimes when I'm in, like I'll just like record like a little mini hook or something, you know what I mean? And if I think I'm gonna make something to it, I will or I won't. Cause like sometimes I just record some unfinished stuff when I'm in the booth, you know what I mean? Or just like go off the fly and just be like fiddling around. But like if I get some actual beats and I leave the studio with them, and then like I hear something, whether I'm at home or wherever, like I'll be writing to it outside of the studio, trying to write an actual song. And then like if I have an actual song written, I'll keep reciting the song to myself over and over and over and over, like I'm crazy or something.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I do the same shit.
But I like honestly do that. Like I'll keep reciting the song over and over and over and over just to make sure that it sounds right. Or if I need to change anything, or if I don't even like the song, just scrap it after I've said it about 10 times.
Right,
you know, but that's usually the process, and then you know from there to the video, you know. That process, you know, I like shooting videos too, man. I like shooting videos.
It's a different type of energy, especially like once you perform, you know what I mean? You get up on that stage and it's like the attention's on you, and I know me, I'm not like an attention type of person, so it's like, I always feel awkward, but I tap into the zone within myself to where it's like, everything else is blurry, you know what I mean? It's just me and that music, and it's a totally different thing.
Totally.
Now, one of my next questions is, I know I do sometimes, and from shooting other people, it's like I see it happen to other people, but I've got to the point where it don't really bother me, but You ever feel awkward shooting music videos in like public situations? You know what I mean? Like out in the middle of the street or in a business, because you know you done shit downtown. I've done shit downtown in the middle of the road. You know. Do you ever feel awkward doing any of that stuff?
I mean, sort of to a certain extent, you know. But then at the same time, it's like, man, you know, coming from where we're from, we don't see a lot of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you do see it, it's like, wow.
People are like, oh, hey.
Yeah, like, hey, because that's kind of like how it was on Back at It, even though, like, it wasn't, like, too many people in the video, like, actually, like, shooting, like, there were people actually walking while we were shooting it. It just wasn't in the video, but, you know, it was kind of like that, and people were looking like, oh, hey, somebody shooting a video, right. Like, it was just different. So, yeah, it's a little bit of awkwardness, but it's also like, hey, this is me doing my craft, you know what I mean? Like, this is somebody from your city or your area, you know what I mean?
Right.
Doing their craft, doing what they love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's why I try to tell other people, you know, that I've shot with. Like I just shot one with this one dude, and he was acting a little bit shy, you know, and awkward. He was scared to do it while other people were walking around. I was like, man, you just gotta do it. You just gotta buck up, grow the nut, and do it, bro. Like you can't hold it back. You gotta be proud of yourself. You can't be proud of yourself. How do you expect anybody else to be? You know what I mean? You gotta flaunt that shit. Because if you got the talent's there. You want to be heard, so be heard whether you're in the face or whether it's coming through the speaker. You know. So
for sure.
Alright, one of my next questions is, as an artist and then like you know a person in general, what's your take on social media? Because especially you're a person, you started back, you know, when social media wasn't really like a thing. You know what I mean? So it's like what's it been like kind of growing into that, and then like how do you feel about it now, and as being an artist, and like especially with not being able to do as many shows right now, you got to be so much more active on social media to try and push your music and like, you know, put it down people's throat to try and get them to actually just engage into it for 2 seconds. You know what I mean? How do you feel about that? Because I know I hate it. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
should have been born back in the day.
Back in the days, like it can be a pain, man. Like social media can be a pain on that aspect because you're trying to be like, hey, check this out, and you yourself know it's good. And the job is to make sure that other people know that it's good. But it's so hard because it's like you gotta do this, do that. You know, but at the same time, it connects you to people, so many people at one time that you couldn't get to.
Right, exactly.
You know, especially with the COVID, you know, and the quarantine thing, like you can sit wherever you're at and like send your song to all these people, or send it, you know, or promo it out to all these people, or make promotions, and when people scroll, they'll see your stuff. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Like it's good for that, but you know, it's the negatives trying to actually get it to the people.
Right. It's the trial and error, finding out what catches the people's attention and what don't. You know what I mean? It's that's why for me, I'm like, man, it should just fucking make my head hurt once in a while. You know what I mean? I don't even want to touch it. I don't even get on it. I'm like, it's there. I want to share it, but I don't want to go on there. So I'm like, oh well.
Yeah, because we came from, you know, we both came from where, you know, we was in the era where we was without social media. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying with the blank tapes and everything. Like before, you know, the YouTubes and everything. Like we came from that era. Yeah. You know, everybody's just from the social media era now, but we didn't come from that. We had to adapt to that.
Right.
You know, and it's just a little bit different than the ones, you know, the younger ones coming up. They're just on that social media, just on that. You know, like I said, us, it was an adaptation. Like we had to adapt to that type.
That's like, man, when I started, I was LimeWire and Crime Mob beats.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
recorded them on a little MP3 player with a microphone thing on it. We found out how to record. We was playing it off a little boombox. You know, burning the illegal beats on CDs and shit.
That's where we came from. Yeah. We came from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's
like back then to have your own little song on CD. It's like,
we was like, what?
It's a little CD, you know what I mean?
Like, like you can hear yourself on the Discman, the CD player. You know what I'm saying?
Now it's like you try to give a CD to somebody and they're like, oh, what? My car don't even have a CD player.
Yeah, like, you know, they got crazy. Spotify, Pandora, everything on the phone now. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's fucked up. Who's your top producers at the moment? You know, like what producers? I know you work with Max a lot. You know, shout out to him. He's got some dope work. I know you work with him a lot, but as far as like, you know, local and, you know, like in the game, what producers do you find yourself kind of liking the most?
Like locally, you know, like you said, Max. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Malcolm Lipson. Shout out to him. I'm saying his real name, but he knows. Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Jeremy too. Like these are like just producers that I'm naming like locally off the fly. You know what I'm saying? King Walker. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. You know what I mean? Basically, it's a lot of talent. It's a lot of talented producers here locally, man. You know what I mean? Big Will. Shout out Big Will. Jay Sway. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Sway. You know what I mean? It's a lot of good like producers here in the city, and then like industry wise. Industry wise, Dr. Dre. You know, the older Kanye. You know what I mean? Like the older stuff, the college, college dropout, late registration era, that Kanye, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about now, but you know what I'm saying? The older Kanye, Havoc from Mobb Deep, I think he gets slept on, kind of his beats nasty, you know what I'm saying?
That's one that gets me every time, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like Premier and then.
Yeah, Premier, you know what I'm saying? Pete Rock, all them, you know what I'm saying? Like those are the golden, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, you know, there's a little bit of the newer, you know, kind of producers that I like too, you know what I'm saying? There's so many of them, it's hard to think, but it's a lot of new production that I like too. But it's really like the golden, the ones that I was naming, those are the ones.
Right, yeah.
Just from where we came up.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. It's that passion for where it comes from in the first place, you know what I mean? It's not just, it's more than just what's hot or what's going on right now. It's actually, you know, that's where it started. That's the roots of it, you know what I mean? That's, if it wasn't for that, it would have been no motivation to have any of this. So it's like, you know, you gotta pay respects to that. What's your favorite song in your own, out of your own catalog? You got a favorite song of your own personal?
Spazzing.
Spazzing.
I say it's between Spazzing and Back at It. It's like a tie between them two. Because those like both kind of have meaning. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like all my music has meaning, but those two, you know what I mean? Because like, you know, they kind of lead into each other. You know what I mean? Because Spazzing was kind of leading into the depression and all that. Like that's what. I don't know, like shooting that video, like I made the song and I shot the video, but it was at different times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I shot the video after going through the mental thing, and that was through that year gap, because I had made Spazzing like a couple of years before I shot the video.
Yeah, no, that's one of the first songs I heard.
Yeah, and I just couldn't shoot it at that time because it was the things going on, like how I shot the video at the cemetery, you know, I got a couple, you know, dead homies in the cemetery. That's part of what led to the depression too, just so much. And then it was, and Back at It came after Spazzing, because it was like Spazzing, you went through the depression, through the mental stuff.
Now you're back at it from it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was always one of my favorite too. Yeah. That and that Tiptoe
on
10 Toes. That was one.
I wanted to make a video for that, you know what I'm saying? Because Q's on that, you know what I mean? And I wanted to make a video. We still might, man. I don't know, man. Because I like that right.
You never know when the stars align, bro. You know
what I'm saying? It might need you to shoot that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Always ready,
Straight
bro.
up. Straight up.
2 kids and a wife ain't cheap, bro. I need money all the time.
I feel you. I feel you.
But let me see. I have another one. Here we go. This is my last question that I got. It's, if you had some advice that you could give to a younger you or a younger artist, you know what I mean, what advice would that be? You know what I mean? All the things that you've learned since you started, whether it be, you know, people you've worked with that you've learned not to work with, or you know, you know, just whatever the case may be along your journey in the music and shit. What's some things that you would tell you a younger you and a younger artist?
That it's going to be exactly that. It's going to be a journey. You're going to hear a lot of no's before you hear yeses. You're going to work with people that you might not no longer work with again. and that's just how the business is, or that's just how the game is, or whatever, you know, that's just how it is. Like, but don't ever stop. Don't stop no matter what obstacles you have, no matter if it's obstacles from somebody else, maybe hating on you, so to say you can't do it. Like, don't accept that.
Right.
And then, you know, don't give yourself self-doubt. You know what I mean? Don't doubt yourself, like, because that's
the killer.
Yeah, that's the killer. Because, like I said, that's what I've done, and it's like, do not do that, because there are days and times when you will get discouraged. Like, you're not going to want to do this every day.
Right. Yeah. Now it gets tiring, especially if you know you're working a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know you doing whatever, you got everything going on. It's like
when you have like real life to live too.
Yeah, some days you just don't feel like doing shit. You know what I mean? But you still push yourself too. Some days on them days, and it's just like, fuck, man, I get so mentally exhausted. I don't even want to think about it. You know what I mean?
Because even when you don't want to do it, the fire is always lit. Once that fire dies, that's when you don't want to do it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So even if you have those couple days, a few days where you don't want to do it, that fire is still lit. But
Right.
once you get to like a long ass time span where you're like, I don't want to do this, months leading into years, that fire is just out.
Right. Just.
Yeah.
And thankfully, man, I ain't had that problem. I
Yeah,
don't think
man.
you've had that problem either. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of things that might happen in life, it's all just kept progressing to a bigger point. It feels like it's just leading to something bigger. You know?
Yeah, because music is therapeutic. It's
Yeah.
really therapeutic. It's therapy, man. Like, you could just get in and just lock in, you know what I'm saying? And just you and the mic and the beat, and just you're going, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you just let that emotion out.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like
it's really
nothing
therapy.
else really matters at that time, you know what I mean? It's just that focus and that concentration, that zone, and kind of like being in tune with yourself and how you feel. And like, for me personally, if I'm writing a song and I'm putting aggressive energy into it, that aggressiveness might not even have anything to do with the song. It's just the way that I've been feeling, the stress has been building up, and it's like it's a way for me to tap in and release that energy onto that mic and into that track, rather than, you know what I'm saying, going and punching a hole in the wall and doing some dumb shit, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, man, I'm a grown ass man, I got family to feed, I gotta hold myself and carry myself a certain way. So it's like, for me, over time, it became not so much as just like a joyful activity, but for like a therapy. You know what I'm saying? When I start getting stressed, it's like, that's when I get to writing. Everything seems to be fueled from my pain, but I'm happy now. I got what I wanted, you know, I've gotten to this, and so it's like, there's no more pain really, so it's just that day-to-day stress, and then once that shit builds up, that's when I finally get to write a new song. And I'm like, yeah, I did it.
For sure.
It's like, hell yeah. But alright, this is my final question that I've got for you, but what you been working on, what you got coming out that, you know what I mean, that people can be looking forward to or maybe seeing in the future, you know what I mean?
Man, I actually want to do like 1 or 2 more videos from the quarantine tape. I actually want to do that. So I'm going to try to get that in the works. And just working on some new material. Can't really concrete like when it'll come, you know what I mean? But just always just dabbling into something, you know what I'm saying? I might get a little snippet of a beat or something and just decide to listen to it, and if I like it, I'm like, hey, let me get the whole beat, you know what I mean, and just go. And that's kind of what I've been doing lately, you know what I mean? Because I just put a video out about a month ago, you know what I mean, that put an on your video from the quarantine. So, you know, just as the visuals are coming out, I've just been like diddling in some new music, you know what I mean, here and there, and hopefully letting it add up to where something finally comes out, because I do want to put something new out, but I do want to do a couple more visuals.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just staying active really visually, trying to get the videos up.
That's the biggest thing now, man. It's like people don't really fucking care who you are and what you got if you ain't got the video with it. They're like,
because that's
I can't pay attention to this, you know what I mean? You gotta have, the people now got such short attention spans, it's like, you gotta keep them hooked in with the video.
The videos, and people want to see your face, you know what I'm saying? They want to see who you are behind the song, behind the product, you know what I mean? They want to see who you are.
Exactly.
So like visuals is something I'm really trying to get up, and then, you know, then intertwine some new music in between, but just at the right time. Just not putting out music just because.
Right,
you know?
Hell yeah. I appreciate you coming in, big
Hey,
dog,
no problem.
man.
Appreciate you having me.
It's been a long time coming, bro. I had to get you on here,
I
man.
appreciate
It's like,
that, man. I appreciate that.
and then you have hopefully this right here. This will help us both build and reach out to some new branches. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And it's all love, and hopefully this won't be the last one. You know what I mean? We can get you in here again sometime because,
hey, bro, whenever you want me, man, whenever you need me, bro, I'm here.
Hell yeah, and I'm gonna need you on another track again. So
Hey, that's for sure, man. Video, all that, man. Like, we gotta work, bro. Cause that's the only way, that everybody will progress. If everybody comes together, take their individual talents, individual, accomplishments, so to say.
Yeah.
If everybody came together, it'd be a bigger and better thing, man. Like that's like how the South did it. You really look at how the South did, the East and the West Coast did it too, but the South really did it.
Yeah.
Like everybody just came together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was all the same mission. Let's do this shit. Let's get out this position that we've all fucking been in, rather than being stingy and greedy. Let's all just do this shit together. And it's dope, man, because then it's like it creates this certain sound. You know what I mean? And it's like you ain't gonna find that shit nowhere else other than right here where it's coming from.
And we can go up against them bigger cities, if we just all just came together more, everybody that's really talented and really serious that really came together as some type of unit, just citywide, statewide, you know what I'm saying? We can go up against these bigger places, you know what I'm saying?
You get a lot more recognition for the work that we're doing too, because I mean it's cold, there's talent, but it's just it's like it ain't getting outside of where we're at. You would think being right in the middle, it'd be everywhere, but people listen to, this person, they're like, oh, he sounds like he's from Detroit, or you listen to this person.
Yeah, he sounds like from Chicago, something like that. And it's but the Midwest really needs that unity. Because like I said, everybody everywhere else then had the East Coast, West Coast, the South, Midwest, they had that. We've had artists and groups come out of the Midwest, but not that unity.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's sticking together. Unity is key, so y'all take notice on that.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get you on another track, bro. And the next one I want it to be just me and you, because it'd make it so much easier to get all the video stuff done. Shout out to QB. She's on the song too, The Distance. That one's gonna be coming soon with me and Nickademus. So y'all stay ready for that one.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so hopefully we can get on another project soon. I appreciate you coming in, bro.
I appreciate you.
Go ahead and tell everybody your little Instagram tags and everything. I'm gonna put them up on the screen right here.
Find me on Instagram, Real Nickademus, you know what I mean? Find me on Facebook, Nickademus, the music page. You find me on Spotify. You find me on wherever you can find me at, man. I'm anywhere, I'm everywhere, I'm here, man. You know what I mean? So check me out, look me up, man. Shout out B-Face for the interview, man. I appreciate it.
That ain't no thing, yo. Y'all be sure to go and follow the links down in the description. Like and follow him on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Type in Nickademus into your YouTube. Sorry about that.
Yeah, YouTube.
Type that shit into your YouTube.
Yeah.
Pull it up, start bumping it. Enjoy your motherfucking day. Thanks, y'all. This is the Built Different Show.
Mommy, Max is here.
I do it for the hood, man, I do it for the block. I do it for my real ones, I do it for my folk in them. He get out of line on God and we smoking them niggas gon' hate. Watch me demonstrate. Yeah, we be smoking.